In today's video, we're diving into a world of magic and movie making at the Warner Brothers studio tour, The Making of Harry Potter, just outside London. Whether you're a die-hard Potterhead, like me, a movie buff, or simply someone looking for a unique adventure, this tour brings the magic of movies right to life. Imagine walking through the actual Great Hall, exploring the sets, and uncovering behind-the-scenes secrets from one of the most iconic film series ever made. And if you love discovering places that are both famous and fascinating, don't forget to check out my video on Harry Potter filming locations around London for even more iconic spots you can visit right in the city. First, let's start by getting your ticket. You can buy them directly on the Warner Brothers website, which is by far the cheapest way of getting to go. Tickets are £52, but do order them far in advance because the weekend tickets especially sell out pretty quick. Please, 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 I am begging you, do not pay for a tour company to take you here. They all charge about £100 to £120 per ticket, and all it includes is your entrance ticket and transportation to the studio. In the next section, I go over how to get to the studio using public transportation, and I live quite far out of London, Zone 5. It cost me about £13 round trip with my rail card. Watch this video for more information on rail cards and discounted UK train tickets. So if you're in central London already, it will be even cheaper than that £13, but let's just say it's £52 for the ticket, £13 for the transport. That's still only £65. So you're still saving yourself £40 to £55 by not doing the tour. So please save your money. I'm begging you, it's such a waste. Now let me help you get to the studio from downtown London. It's super, super easy using public transport. The first step is getting to Watford Junction train station. So there are two ways to do this. The first is better suited if you're staying in northern or central London. Start by heading to London Euston Station, where you'll catch a direct train to Watford Junction. These leave super frequently, only takes about 20 minutes. But if you're not close to Euston, you can take a train from Clapham Junction, which is more in South London. This is what I did, and it only took 40 minutes. Alternatively, you can also take the London Overground from several stations to Watford Junction if you're traveling on a tighter budget. It's a bit slower, taking about 45 minutes if you leave from Euston, but it's a great option for budget-conscious travelers. For people visiting London, you might think, what's the difference between the Overground and the train? Honestly, not much. They are both overground trains. It's mostly the price and the seating inside. The Overground is part of London's public transportation system, whereas the trains are privately owned companies. So if you want more tips on how to master London's public transportation system for your trip, check out this video. Once you get to Watford Junction train station, it's super easy. A special Warner Brothers studio shuttle bus with Harry Potter branding is waiting to whisk you directly to the studio in about 15 minutes. This doesn't cost anything extra, you just have to have your tour ticket ready since it's required to board. When you're on the shuttle bus, they have Tom Felton, who played Draco Malfoy in the Harry Potter films, giving you a welcome message and some tips about your visit, which I thought was really cool and really puts you in the Harry Potter mood before you even arrive. Once you arrive, you hop off the bus and are welcomed by Harry Potter decor right from the start, with really cool walls that lead you to the entrance covered in fake Daily Prophet newspapers, and then the walkway leading to the door is lined with massive wands, which is so cool, including the Elder Wand, of course. Once you get to the door, you will scan your ticket, go through security, and then you're in. Before you dive into the tour, there's a big room, again with unreal Harry Potter decor, where you can check your coat, go to the bathroom, or buy an audio guide before you dive in. From this room, you walk into one of the most incredibly decorated rooms with a massive dragon hanging up above your head, a banner all the way around the room with Harry Potter characters, 2 cafes, and some costumes from the movie. I went during October, which is their special dark arts theme, which is a little bit more spooky and Halloween-esque elements, so my video might look slightly different than if you go during another time of the year. And I highly encourage you to walk to the Frog Cafe, which is at the end of the room, which only serves ice cream, sweet treats, and drinks. So if you want one, grab it, but even if you don't, just go over there to admire the decor of this area, because it's a nice little teaser of the Great Hall with floating candles and the Marauders map on the walls. Now it's time to actually start the tour, so you'll join the line, and as you're in line, you'll see the cupboard under the stairs to start, and then the rest of it is a timeline with behind the scenes photos of all 8 movies being filmed, which is super cool to see. But essentially, you're just waiting in line to get into the room where you stand and you watch a short video about the rules and just things to know about your day. And this video is narrated by James and Oliver Phelps, who play Fred and George Weasley in the films, which again is so cool. Once you watch this short video, you're corralled into the next room, which which is a proper theater where you'll sit down, you watch a short 5-minute film on all the behind the scenes magic of the studio and creating the Harry Potter films, which is super cool to see. And of course, it's narrated by Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, and Rupert Grint, who play Harry, Hermione, and Ron in the films. There is no recording allowed in either film room. From here, the screen of the theater lifts up and there it is, the door to the Great Hall, and it is incredible. They open it up and from here you are officially free to explore the rest of the tour on your own, starting with the Great Hall. It was spectacular. Everything I had always pictured it would be. And again, I was there during Halloween, which is why there are floating pumpkins rather than the traditional floating candles. And all around, there's tons of costumes and memorabilia from the movies, and you can already start to admire it all. So take your time, admire everything in as much detail as you want. Once you leave the Great Hall, you're in the main area, which has all the different sets and props. There's kind of a distinct path to follow, but honestly it is a maze in some parts where you'll circle around a few times to make sure that you have seen everything in the area. The thing I do recommend doing before you go see anything, head straight to the Gryffindor common room set and look for this little table with this stamp presses. This is something I didn't know existed before I came here, and it was such a cool surprise element to the trip that gives you a free souvenir. There are these free Harry Potter passport booklets there, and then you open it up to the first page and stamp it with the press. It's not ink. A lot of people are confused by that. It's just an indentation on the page. And if you flip through the book, it shows you all the other places throughout the tour to get these stamps, and even has some activities you can do, like finding golden snitches around the tour, like on different sets, or looking for the dark marks. So it makes the tour a little bit more interactive if you want it to be. From here, you're honestly just exploring. The first few rooms are the best, with so many of the main sets and props to see. Also spread throughout the tour, there are other interactive elements if you'd like to participate in them, like this green room where you can hop on a broom and see a video of yourself flying and playing Quidditch that you can purchase. Once you're done with this area, which honestly will take quite a bit of time because there's just so much to see in this area, you'll head to the Forbidden Forest, which there isn't a ton to see. It's mostly kind of just a walkway, but there are the huge trees, the spiders, dementors that you can snap some photos of. The end of the Forbidden Forest leads you to platform 9 3/4, so you can snap photos of the train, yourself going through the platform wall with your trolley, wait in line to actually go inside of the train, check out the gift store, and participate in an interactive filming session where you sit inside the train carriage and the green screen is in the window showing your journey to Hogwarts. An added element if you go during the dark arts theme is seeing the Death Eaters walk through the platform every few minutes with spooky music. From here, you're led to the outdoor area, which has a few cafes, including one that sells only butterbeer and butterbeer flavored things, so you can grab food or a drink and relax here for a little bit before heading outside to see the few props that are out there, like one of the covered walkways at Hogwarts, the flying car, and the greenhouse where they had their herbology classes at Hogwarts. From here, you'll walk through a few rooms that are all dedicated to the creatures of Hogwarts, so you'll see drawings, masks, and the makings of the creatures behind the scenes. From here, you'll walk to the Gringotts Wizard Bank, where you'll see both of the main lobby part of it and the vaults. Then you'll head to my favorite spot of the tour, which is Hogsmeade. And then you'll end at the model of the Hogwarts castle, which honestly fascinated me because I assumed it was CGI in the films, but they actually used this model to film the shots of the castle, and you can see how they did it on the screens all around the room, like in the behind the scenes clips, which is really cool to see. From here, the only thing left to do is the gift shop, which is massive. You can spend an hour alone in here and get practically any Harry Potter themed souvenir you want. I walked through just to see what they had, but I was perfectly happy with my free Harry Potter passport with all the stamps from throughout the tour. Some key info to wrap up: I'd give yourself more time than you think you need so you don't feel like you're rushing. I left my house at 11 a.m., entered at 1:30, and got home at 6 p.m. So 7 hours including transport there and back, and I only got to see everything for about 3 to 4 hours, which I did feel rushed because I didn't want to travel back home when it got super dark. So I'd give yourself a solid 5 to 6 hours just for the tour, and then add on the travel time from there depending on where your hotel is. Can you dress up? The short answer is of course you can, but just know the majority of people who are dressed up are all kids. I'd say only 5% of the adults were dressed up. It's not like Oktoberfest where literally everyone is dressed up, and if you're not, you stick out. It's definitely the opposite, where you're the one sticking out if you're an adult and you're dressed up. So there you have it, one of the most magical experiences in London in my opinion, especially if you're a Harry Potter fan. So now let's take a look at Harry Potter filming locations all around London.